Hello everyone and welcome to class of Amazon S3 Storage Management. Today we will discuss about data durability and reliability. So what is data durability and reliability in Amazon S3? So we have very first is standard infrequent accessed. Here in IA, which is infrequently accessed, we will back up our data with Amazon S3 service level agreement for availability, because what we require, this is designed for 99.99% durability and availability of objects over a given period. So this is basically designed to sustain concurrent loss of data. So infrequent access standard IA is basically designed for 99.99% durability and availability of objects. Next we have Amazon Glacier. This is also designed for same durability of objects. So these are designed to sustain the concurrent loss of data. So how do we transfer large amount of data? Like we have Amazon Glacier, we have standard IA. So what is the difference and how do we transfer data? So in transferring large amounts of data, we have some set of tools so that we can migrate data to cloud faster. We can optimize a network or we can integrate with existing S3. So for data transferring or for transferring large amounts of data, we have S3 transfer acceleration. This is basically designed so that we can maximize the transfer speed. It works on HTTP and HTTPS. Next we have Snowball, Snowball Edge and Snowmobile. These are used for transferring large-scale data, including a high-speed cost, long transfer, and security concerns. Now, there are no gateway servers to manage, no firewalls to open, no special ports or clients to integrate, and upfront fees to pay. We simply change the Amazon S3 endpoint that your application uses to transfer data, and acceleration is automatically applied. From petabytes to exabytes, AWS Data Migration Services uses secure devices to transfer large amount of data into and out of Amazon S3. Next we have AWS Storage Gateway. Data or storage systems, that means that exist on-premises. We can link on-premises data center to Amazon S3 using the storage gateway. And we have third-party partner integration. Here we have a number of partners which are integrated with Amazon S3 so that we can have simplified data transfers. This means that we have some software processes data which can be streamlined into cloud for backup, migration, etc. Now if we are transferring large amount of data, we require to have security in systems. So let's discuss about security and access management. So the data which is stored in Amazon S3 is secure by default. Only bucket and object owners have access to these resources. So we require to create like some policies. So we have different control mechanisms: IAM, ACLs, bucket policies, and query string authentication. IAM, Identity and Access Management. It enables organization to create and manage multiple users under a single AWS account. With IAM policies, we can grant IAM users control to your buckets and objects. We can also use access control list to selectively add certain permissions on individual objects. Amazon S3 bucket policies can be used to add or deny permissions across some or all objects within a single bucket. Now, with query string authentication, we will have the ability to share S3 objects through URL for a valid or a specified period of time. We have VPC endpoints. Amazon VPC endpoints for Amazon S3, it provides a multiple level of security controls to help limit access to S3 buckets. First, you can require that request to your Amazon S3 originate from VPC using a VPC endpoint. That means we can request to S3 with the help of VPC endpoint. Additionally, we can control what buckets, requests, users or groups are allowed through this virtual private cloud endpoint. That means we are adding a security at VPC. We can select or we can control what buckets request can be accessed through this. We have encryption. When Amazon S3 SSE encrypts data at rest, it uses AES 256-bit encryption keys. Now these are the encryption keys. Further in security and access management, we have audit logs and versionings. That means you can configure your Amazon S3 bucket to create access logs for the request made against it. This allows you to easily recover from both unintended user actions and application failures. By default, request will retrieve the most recently written version. Older versions of the object can be retrieved by specifying the version in request. Storage rates apply for every version stored. So versioning, it is also providing a protection. We can use versioning to preserve, retrieve and restore every version of object in S3. Next we have MFA, which is multi-factor authentication delete, and time-limited access to objects. If we enable MFA delete on your S3 bucket, we can only change the versioning state of your bucket or permanently delete an object version. But we require to provide two forms of authentication together. This is an additional security. First, you require to have your AWS account credentials, and it is basically a concatenation of a valid serial number, a space, a 6-digit code displayed on authentication device. That means here in MFA we have authentication device, or we have a OTP through which we can delete an object. Time limited access, limited URLs can be useful for scenarios such as software downloads or applications, where we want to restrict the length of the time users to access an object. It basically supports query string authentications, which will provide you a URL, and that URL is valid only for a definite length of time. So this is security and access management. How do we secure our data and access in Amazon S3? Thank you so much.